All right. Sorry about that, folks. Don't really use YouTube Live a whole lot, but here we go. Hopefully, I can be heard. And for those of you popping in, my name is AJ, owner of Hippie Fertilizing. I've been fertilizing lawns now for almost 10 years, working in lawn care for 17 years, even had a tree business for about 4 years. So we were looking down, we were looking up, and we were looking all around, and I said, man, there's got to be a better way to do this. Fortunately, I've had some excellent influences. I'm from League City, Texas, south of Houston. With that being said, Houston is the third largest city in the United States. There's a lot going on here, okay? Lots of culture, lots of food, lots of different languages, lots of everything. So you know what else there's a lot of in around the third largest city in the United States? A lot of homes, a lot of lawns, and a lot of space to make a difference in our green area. Yo, Chris, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Thank you for popping in. With that being said, with all the lawns around Houston, right? Fortunately, we have a few great companies that contribute in a very positive way, like Microlife Fertilizers. Safe, effective. It's really good stuff, especially if you're concerned about the health of your animals, your kids, your wife, you know, eh, the bees, the butterflies, like everything, because we're all impacted by what we put around our environment, right? Now, I have a 7 year old red husky, blue eyes, most beautiful thing in the world. He's super calm, he's chill. But I've noticed something, okay? And right now, I live in an apartment, so the lawn care situation is quite a bit out of my control. I don't like this. The reason I'm bringing this up is if you have a dog, and especially if you live in an apartment with which you have to take him on a walk. You can't just let him out in the backyard. If I take Boston on a walk to do his business, I have to walk him for almost like a mile or two, right? I don't like doing that all the time. There's a little dog park. We go to the dog park. He finds his spot, does his thing. I clean it up. We're good. It happens a lot faster than going on a 2 mile walk. Well, a few months back, the apartment company got a new lawn maintenance crew. The lawn maintenance crew sprayed the whole perimeter with an herbicide. How do you know, AJ? Because all the grass died around the fence line. And they do this because that's a lot of time and effort to weed eat. A lot of weed eater string, a lot of stuff. Like economically and business wise, I totally get it. Okay. You're trying to save some manpower and labor hours, stuff like that. But in a sense of safety, effectiveness, like environmentally, is that good? Absolutely not. So my dog likes to walk around the perimeter of the little dog park. They sprayed the whole thing with herbicide. And you're thinking, well, just don't take him to the dog park. And I'm like, dude, you know what it's like having to walk your dog 2 miles every morning so if we're gonna take a crap, let's be real. It's a little frustrating. So I take him to the dog park. Just within a couple weeks of them spraying herbicide around the perimeter of the dog park and Boston doing his thing, uh, sniffing, just being a dog, right? He develops like an irritation in his paw and he won't quit chewing it. And people say, oh, well, it's arthritis, AJ, or it could be this, or it could be that. Why did it happen? Within about 2 weeks of them spraying the entire property with an herbicide. I'm sharing this story with you from my experience so that hopefully it can save you from having the same experience, or if you are experiencing things like this with your dog, you can take a look at what's around your home and decide whether it's worth it, because all the time I see articles or I hear things about how these lawn chemicals impact our animals. And unfortunately, A lot of times, if you're doing stuff right and you're following directions, then you're not using as much, right? So it's a slower impact, but it's still going to be an impact. My dog got bit by a water moccasin earlier this year. Took him to the emergency vet. Freaked out. Oh my God. It's like I was freaked out worse than like my closest family member looking like they're going to pass away. Okay. That's my boy. I tell you that to tell you this. When I called up to the emergency vet place, check on him, they all have their pre recorded thing while you're waiting. One of the things says, is your dog something about, is your dog having reactions? And did you recently put down anything on the lawn? And I heard this from the emergency vet place. Now, just yesterday, I get sent an article by another vet place. It says this dog got into some ant bait. Now, this is kind of an extreme case, right? Dog eating a whole thing of ant bait, not good. But there's stuff out there that's permethrin and pyrethrin and bifenthrin and all the thins. Not good stuff. Dog ate the whole thing of ant bait. Dog got tremors, got weak, was nauseous, was, was very lethargic, wasn't good. Well, we put these things on our lawns all the time. There's people out there putting their stuff on their lawn every day. And unfortunately, I've used things like permethrin because it kills chinch bugs. And in the lawn care business, you're going to come across chinch bugs and you got to have a way to deal with it. But it makes me rethink like what's going on here, because I desperately want to find a natural way to handle chinch bugs that won't impact my dog. But I also want to put out the awareness out there that the stuff that you're putting on your lawn is impacting the health of your animals, because we tend to care about them a little bit more than we care about ourselves. I promise you it's true. I have had hundreds and hundreds of customers. First question is it okay for my dog? Fortunately, like 99% of what we do is okay for your dog. And I say 99% because my rule is if I can't touch it with my bare hands, I don't want to use it. Chinch bugs have me in a pickle with that, okay? And I need to like find a better way to handle that so that I can stay 100% true to what I say about if I can't touch it with my bare hands, I don't want to use it. Because if it impacts me, it can definitely impact my dog a lot faster. Now, with that being said, we were talking about being in Houston. Houston's freaking large, right? The surrounding areas of Houston is massive. People joke all the time. It takes an hour to get through Houston. Well, that's on a good day, okay? Can take 2 hours. So it takes like 4 hours to get to one side outside of Houston to the other side of the outside of Houston. My point is this: there is freaking millions of acres of lawn right in the Houston area. That's millions of acres to make a positive impact. Okay? Every day, someone is out there selling some stuff on how you need to treat and defeat and kill the weeds and treat the disease and treat the pests and blah, blah, blah. Right? And here at Hippie Fertilizing, we want to undo that. We want to unravel that thinking. We want to tear it apart, throw it in the trash, and burn it so it's never around again. Because our philosophy at Hippie Fertilizing is feed it, don't treat it. Bro, every time I see your name, I love it. Gorilla, it's a whole long thing, but I love reading it because it's freaking hilarious. Let me get back to it. Okay. There's so much room for positive impact. If you look up and search how much lawns there are in the US, and a study done back in like 2005, so there hasn't been any recent studies, said that there was 63,000 square miles. What 63,000 square miles translates to is like somewhere around 43 million acres. Million acres. Now, let me tell you this. In my business currently, We, on the regular, service about 150 people. We did the math. We only service about 19.5 acres. 19.5. That's how much I can do. I mean, I can do more, but that's how much I got under my care right now. And even under my care, right? I hate to say it, but I still have people who are like, "Oh, AJ, the weeds are driving me nuts, so I put down a weed and feed." I'm like, "Oh, I thought you hired me because you don't want that crap around your house. Why are you gonna go against me, man? Come on, we're working for the greater good, not to kill some clover. Is it that important? No, not compared to my dog's health, not compared to my girl's health. Your health. We're trying to freaking help promote health pollinators, of bees, of life on planet Earth. That's where we live. I don't want to live in a bubble. I don't want to live in space. Okay. I want to live and breathe and drink water and eat food from clean soil, clean air, clean water. Right. And so as we point fingers at the other industries and, oh, commercial agriculture is tearing up the world and these corporations are tearing up the world. Well, guess what? Come on, people. Let's control what we can do at home. There is 40 million acres out there in the US that buy all this crap with our hard earned money to put on these lawns that impact our homes. So, as much as I do agree, there's huge changes that could be made in commercial agriculture, right? And pharmaceuticals, and you name it, like cleaner power, right? And there's cool stuff going on in the world with that. But it's not going to make a huge difference if we don't change essentially, really, what we consume. And not all consumption is like by drinking and eating. A lot of consumption is turning on the light switch, which obviously the lights are on right now. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad about it, but consuming what we buy, right? And then what we buy and throw in the trash. So we can make a huge impact by thinking and improving what we put on typically the 3 to 4,000 square feet. That is our domain, our dominion. Your home is your kingdom. And I implore you to treat it as such, as your kingdom. And would you want a dilapidated kingdom full of health hazards? No, you don't. And you deserve better. Okay? I know I get a little intense, but this is what I do. It's how I feel. Been at it for 10 years. It didn't change during the roughest years, and it ain't ever going to change. So thank you for popping in. Thank you for watching. Follow Hippie Fertilizing. I don't normally go on live on YouTube, so I love some feedback on that. I'm sure it's not entirely too different than Facebook, but I know the audience can tend to be a little different, and I want to get this message out there of feed it, don't treat it. Okay? If it says weed in front of the feed, it is a treatment, not a feedment. Okay? So support soil biology with me, and it's up to us, each and every one of us, to do what's best right in front of us. I love you too, Chris. I miss you. We need to hang out very soon. And grill Illuminati barbecue fetus guy. Every time I see your name on there, freaking cracks me up. It makes my day. So thank you so much for that. Y'all have a super groovy day. Peace.